Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack. We also have
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
So in the Superman Man of Tomorrow. We just got to see the I guess it's 85 because you can say it's kind of classic battle suit for Luthor that George Perez designed. And here we go. I'm passing off to you. What do you think of it?
What's that dome at the top? It's
Oh,
like
well, he
Mysterio
can't
or
just have
something.
his head out like in the comics, of course.
Well,
So
in the comics, he's supposed to have, there is supposed to be like shielding, but
mhm,
it's like an invisible shield.
yeah.
So you won't, if something tries to hit, it would just bounce off and everybody would be like, oh, okay, there's actually like a force field there, but there's no dome at the end of the day. I don't know, it looks kind of flat.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just the image, but it does look kind of flat. Not very. I guess they're going strictly with green and black. Don't want any purple in there. Uh, hmm, I don't know. It looks a little. I mean, because of the positioning of the head,
Mhm.
it looks like he's seated with like where his arms would be where the chest are, as opposed to where his arms should be where the arms are.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's being controlled. Like he's maneuvering from the middle as opposed to his hands are actually there. I mean, obviously he's not this size, but that's just on first blush right here. Uh, Not a good image. Not a good image to start. Not a good image to start.
I'll just say when I first saw the Perez version, obviously this isn't translating it exactly. It's just having the colors and kind of the mold, and definitely not the dome, as you said. But it was something when we would see it again, like I think it was at issue 5 of Man of Steel, and then we see his military, his force in
That
the
was such a rip.
what?
I saw that Superman came in and he's got the I saw the armor
Mhm.
and I'm like out of my seat. I was like, yeah, because I was just so happy to see anything that resembled something that I was recognized, and it was like, oh no. He was like, Luthor, you sent one of your goons. I was like, yeah, okay, you got me. You got me. You know what? I'm gonna get you. I'm not reading anymore.
Then
I'm out.
then I think in Superman for All Seasons they use it as a small thing, and then when I think with the culmination of Luthor, I think it was the culmination of Luthor for president is that he goes full on bad, and he
Yeah.
has the outfit at the end. And I think the hard part for me, and it doesn't
Took a
relate to,
long time for that to come back.
but it was hard for me. I didn't really. I think for me, I didn't really. It just was cool when it came out. But when I saw it, when not to say that they had to do it, but seeing Luthor as either the mad scientist back in the day, or Luthor with the lab coat, or Luthor with the suit. I know in the story with Superman and in the world's finest, and then of course in the '80s, which is more it's more who's that guy? I guess Byrne did the more stories with it, but the idea of doing that was more Marvel. It was more mostly more Wolfman, and some of the other bits of the LexCorp came. Well, Byrne said that was the idea that um, having LexCorp all over the city came from obviously something similar to Acme, and but Mark Winwell was the one who suggested you should have it all over LexCorp everywhere. But seeing that sort of version, it kind of played to him being in the movie. He says brawn over brains, and so the fact that he was staying in his human outfit, and it was also fun back. I always go to the one where he turned Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman to kids, and he was just beating them up every time he saw them in his regular outfit. I just think the purple outfit might just not a big update, but just a subtle type of thing because it's been around for a long time, and it's not like Superman's outfit. It was like I think that was outfit was kind of a mix of his LL one because it had the same colors of purple, but then they kind of made it a little more stylish for the period. So, but the villain can go outside of someone like Magneto, which is like you can't get much better than that. So, but yeah, I kind of like when you have the him thinking that his brain's over Brawn, and at the same time we saw in Superman movie that Superman was pretty smart. So it didn't his estimation that Superman was all, and any time when he thinks that Superman is all brawn and not brains, in I don't think in any period it ever showed up as that. outside of Luthor doing the 4D fighting and that sort of thing. But it was a whole team of people fighting against Superman and that sort of thing. Doing, but that was more for the video game crowd. So I like to see what they do with it, but the brains it's like Batman. I like Iron Man, and Iron Man works on a lot of magic, right? But and that's not tech because there's a lot of stuff that you get thrown. You with your body in an Iron Man suit. There's so much science that has to go into that you just suspended disbelief. And I'm saying I suspended it, but then you say he fights the Hulk, Thor, he gets hit with electricity, all that stuff, everything, no problem. You in your car and you get
I'm
a
a,
dent, and the whole shit is like, no, that's gonna be
I'm gonna
like,
break I'm gonna
huh?
break everybody's heart. If you get hit in a suit like Iron Man's armor, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Okay,
So
if you're in a car and I mean, people talk about their back getting hurt because the back of the car got hit.
yeah,
Okay, there's a bunch of that means just the movement at the end of the day. If you weren't secure, just that type of stuff, or if you tensed up. So the type of shock absorption that you would have to have in a suit, like Iron Man's, it's like you said, I love the way you put it. There's a whole bunch of magic because this is not happening. Okay, it's not happening. If you were in a tank, sure, bullets, no problem. You get hit with what would you get hit? I
so
mean, you get hit with like a
shell,
good hmm?
like a grenade or a shell hitting it.
Yeah, a shell, maybe not a grenade, but a good shell hits, and everybody in there's dead because you get rocked, you get smacked up against the wall or the heat, So yes, exactly that. That used to be into with the Batman versus Superman fights, and Batman puts on the armor and he's like, "Now I'm ready to take on Superman." I'm like, he's walking in his own coffin. That you gotta be kidding me. One good slap, bang, you're dead.
Yeah, and the thing is, having well, no, actually, the comic book too, and I think when it first came out, there's also the wave when that in the Dark Knight 4. It wasn't until a while later when I found out that people were like, this was their thing. It was like a big thing to people, and I was just like, that's when I was going back to it and just like,
I
nah,
was the kid who read that fight and was like, wow, Batman did so well. And then it was somebody older who came, he's like, are you kidding me? He's plugged into a
oh, that's
lamppost.
that's me. I'm the one who always talk, not old that much older,
He's
but
like,
I
he's
always
plugged
talk
in.
about the
Was it
lamppost.
you?
Yes, it was
Was it
me.
you?
I banged
Yeah, it
my
was
head
you.
saying it's a lamppost. It's a
You're like, what are you talking about? Look at him. He's plugged
electricity.
into a lamppost. All you gotta do is cut the power. Just cut the power. I
Yeah,
was like,
no,
oh
really.
wow.
Oh, he's
How did I miss that?
overconfident. He's overconfident. Like, not that overconfident.
And then and then I was like, what? I was like, oh man, how did he get through that whole fight? And then you think about it, you're like, wait a minute. He was plugged in the entire fight, and Superman just didn't cut the power.
yeah, that's the hard part. So it's also placed to with Batman, with Iron Man having this sort of thing is Iron Man. So when Batman and Luthor are putting on the armor, it's kind of like, yeah, Batman, Batman they portray is smarter than Superman and Luthor is, but hey, I'm not crazy. I gotta put on this armor, then I can beat him. And it's like there's no brains, there's brains into making the suit that can compare it, but it's just like that's not really using your brain. That's saying, hey, I know I'm gonna die in this fight. So that's the thing that I would say, it's like, hey, I'm not crazy. I am going up a guy that's stronger than me, so I'm gonna put on this perfect suit. And in my mind, especially for Batman, Luthor, this is in his wheelhouse. So Luthor, but the thing is that you can't. The hard part is you can do this, but then Luthor's on to the next thing. Like he's gonna come up with something new after that. So it's like, oh, I did this, and that's what the kind of the, from his from all of its comic books. All right, I did that. Let me do something else. It's not going to be all right. Come up again. We're going to have another toe to toe fight. So it's fun to see it, but it's like keeping it regular. Like no, the next thing he comes up with is going to be way worse. I did the fight. Let me try this other thing against Superman. All right, let me try
Well,
this
the
other
whole
crazy thing against Superman. All right.
well before then, he just had he had just something like a suit with like these little mini jets on it, so he
Yeah,
could fly around. That was what he had. And the idea of the armor was so okay, he could actually fight. If there was a situation where it was like kryptonite or something, he could actually take advantage and he could be a bit more formidable as opposed to curses foiled again. I'm gonna run off. He could actually throw a punch. It would also allow him to like get into space. Give him a little bit more versatility at the end of the day. But it wasn't very. I mean, it wasn't around that long because this was when that armor came in and the new Brainiac outfit. Uh, Let me see. Gil Kane was on the book. So maybe they're like what? How many years? Maybe like what, 4 years?
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't. You're right. Not. It's maybe it was like I think was it 83 or 83 when that they did that. But it's like the thing is that uh, Perez designed it and we saw it more in Crisis because on that cover of Superman, but um, it was what he wanted to do was what, as you said before, what he did with Vandal Savage, which he did with Luthor later. It's like these are my characters. I like this, and Gil Kane designed the Brainiac. So it's like we're using those characters. It's like, and Luthor I think I remember no, but I don't think he had the outfit on. There was another Luthor story. I think we might have looked or reviewed it. Um, so I think it wasn't used as much because you have Marv, you have some other you Carrie Bates, and I don't think they did it. There's a couple Luthor stories, but I don't remember them having him have the toe-to-toe fight. But when I see Crisis, he's in there and all that, and they literally get rid of the other one that's in his prison civvy. So yeah, but so this is all we got. We've got a shot of the fight, which I'll show you guys. Which obviously this is two shots going to be put together: Luthor on the floor and Superman pounding him, on top. But he's probably saying something.
Did you say Superman pounding him on top? Pause.
Okay, super pause. All right, sorry. That was terrible. That was hey yo, that was bad. Sorry. So yeah, this is what
So
we
okay, so now Superman's doing the whole 1A. 1A!
got. But we got some signs. This is nowhere near. I guess they'll be finishing it up and doing a lot of graphics and all that stuff. So we got a ways to go for this, and we got Supergirl coming out now. So it's like, but this is
We
the
got a year. We got a little bit more than a year. I mean, this is gonna come out pretty quickly, so I don't know, time is relative. It's a year is not that long out, but we do still have a ways to go.
yeah. All right, so we'll be back with more Superman stuff, but we had we did our Supergirl thing, and now we've done our Luthor new outfit, and we get any more because we got to see Brainiac to see what they do with that. If Brainiac is going to be in this film, I'm thinking he's going to be. People have hinted there's an old Silver Age cover where you have Luthor on one side, Brainiac on the other, and a small Superman in the middle. I don't think they're going to try to translate, but he'll be probably between those two, if we're lucky. And if we're lucky, it's a good translation. Any last thoughts, Cal?
I want to see some better images.
Okay.
I don't like I'm very sorry. A friend of mine was telling me about the images that was shown,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody else did I mean, look, these guys are YouTubers. They gotta put out content almost daily. So they'll show like, oh, look at the new Superman outfit. When you look at it, it's like this shot, and you're like, you got to be kidding me. You can't tell me that's the new outfit. We don't know what that is gonna look like in the theaters, at all. And the same thing here, where like I'm seeing these shots, I'm like, this doesn't look very convincing to me. So I usually try to hold off for the better stuff or for better looks, but it's 2026, got to put out content, we got to do a show, is what it is.
All right, so we'll be checking back. We get more info. Spin rack.
Yep, we're out.
See if it works. There we go.
Let's go Knicks.